This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your NHL Early Lines report for the games taking place on Tuesday, November the 8th. Always busy Tuesday schedule of NHL games. Let's begin with Edmonton taking on Pittsburgh in an East versus West matchup. And let's give the Edmonton Oilers some big-time credit coming into this game because they had a tough back-to-back set this weekend. They were in Brooklyn to take on the New York Islanders on Saturday, and then in Detroit on Sunday, shorthanded. 4 road games in 6 days, battling injuries on the blue line with Chris Russell out, Mark Fayne out, Brandon Davidson out, Jesse Puyo was held out of the game against Detroit on Sunday. There were a ton of cluster injuries for this Oilers team, yet they sweep those 2 games on the weekend. The shootout win, come from behind to beat the Islanders on Saturday, and then a real gritty, gutsy 2-1 effort on the road against Detroit, playing very well defensively, giving some good support to Jonas Gustafsson, who was making his first start of the season here for this Oilers team in net. Very impressive back-to-back road wins, but now they continue it here in Pittsburgh. This is now going to be, for the Edmonton Oilers coming up here this game on Tuesday, it's going to be their 5th road game in 8 nights. That's pretty tough. That's very, very, very tough schedule for this team. Lots of travel, for a team that had to go from west to east, change time zones when this road trip began, which started in Toronto last week, then to the Rangers, then to the Islanders, then to Detroit. Now on to Pittsburgh for this Edmonton team before they finally head home. They're 2-2 on this trip. Usually if a team has had a very good road trip above 500, sometimes that last game of a road trip's a throwaway. You don't see that good effort. You don't see that focus. You don't see that intensity. This could go either way. When you have a team that's 2-2 and the final game of that road trip could make or break whether it's a winning or a losing trip for the team, that's where sometimes the results are a little bit more random. A lot of teams, you'll see them really bear down, wanting to win that last road game, and some teams, the travel catches up to them, the condensed number of games in a short period of time catches up to them, so it'll be fascinating to see what we get from the Oilers here. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they're coming back from a West Coast road trip. 3 of the games were out west. They started in Philly, they won 5-4, then they went to Anaheim, LA, and San Jose, won 3 of those 4 games. They only lost coming in overtime against the LA Kings which was a back-to-back situation for the Penguins. So very impressive outing for them. 3 wins in those 4 road games. So this is a tricky spot still for Pittsburgh. I know they've been off since Saturday's win against San Jose, 5-0. Very impressive. But you'd have to worry about the spot. And I worry about the spot enough for Pittsburgh where I'm tempted to take a little stab at Edmonton plus the price here in this game, even though it's brutal for Edmonton. 5 road games in 8 days is as bad as it gets from a scheduling perspective, but this team's showing some heart, some grit, digging down deep to compete and win games despite some injuries. I like the look of this Oilers team. I really do. I'm not going to go out on a limb right now, and it's too early in the season to say this is the year they make the playoffs, but they're going to be in position, I think, that come March and April, they're going to be playing some meaningful hockey down the stretch and be in the mix to make the playoffs. So I like the positive signs for Todd McClellan's team so far this season. And hey, if they pull off a shocker here, even in a brutal spot, wouldn't be a complete surprise to me. The spots cancel out because it's an equally tough spot for Pittsburgh coming back off the West Coast trip. So slight lean to the Oilers, believe it or not. I think at that price tag, with the way they're reaching down deep and trying to win games right now, it might be worth a look. Vancouver and the Rangers, the next game up. I'll tell you what, Rangers are just on fire offensively, this team. I mean, they've just been putting the puck in left and right. Look at what they've done. They've scored at least 5 goals now in 5 straight games, all of them victories. And if they score at least 5 goals in this game has a chance to go over the total, sitting at 5.5 the total in this game. The question is, can you get Vancouver to score at all? And the good news for Vancouver is, after getting shut out in 4 or 5 games, they finally got on the scoreboard against Toronto, albeit in a losing effort on Saturday, but a positive sign at least. The only way I'd bet this game is over the total for Vancouver. This is also a really bad spot for them. Look at the Canucks. They've lost 8 straight games, 0-8 in their last 8. In terms of their road trip right now, this is going to be their 4th game on this road trip. in a condensed period of time. Fourth road game for the Canucks in a span of 7 days, so not an easy situation here for them coming into this game on Tuesday. Rangers have been rolling on home ice. When you look at it, they beat Winnipeg 5-2, Edmonton 5-3, St. Louis 5-0, Tampa 6-1, all on home ice during that span. Maybe you catch Vancouver down and out, and maybe you look Rangers puck line -1.5, probably worth a look maybe, and as well over the total in this game. Rangers have been an over machine of lately, and they could exceed, if not approach this total, if not exceed it all by themselves. Let's see what else. San Jose, Washington, very interesting game, and I'll tell you what, we'll see if San Jose's got a spike in their effort coming into this game, because that was an ugly showing for them against the Pittsburgh Penguins on Saturday night at home, getting shut out, losing 5-0. Not a good showing from San Jose. And in fact, San Jose, just not overall playing great hockey so far, a large part of the start of this season. They've struggled. The target's on their back. They're defending Western Conference champions to the Stanley Cup final last year, and we're seeing this team definitely have some troubles. I mean, they've lost 3 straight to Arizona, Calgary, and Pittsburgh, scoring 2 goals or less in all 3 of those games. So their offense has really gone stagnant. Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Logan Couture, go on down the list, all, disappearing really for this team on the offensive side of the ice. And they've given up goals. They've given up 11 in their last 3 games. So not a good sign for this Sharks team. But here we go again with San Jose with home struggles. They're 2-4. They're 4-2 at home this season. Now they go on the road. Last year they were great on the road, San Jose, but this year so far 2-4. We'll see, though, if they have a spike in their effort and intensity and focus coming into this road trip, because they're not pleased. They weren't happy with the way they played against Pittsburgh. I could see them bringing a good effort here to this game facing the Washington Capitals. Washington, though, really playing well. Not easy to bet against or step in front of this Capitals team right now. They've won 5 straight games, playing some pretty good hockey themselves at the moment. But again, San Jose at the start of a road trip, very PO'd at the way they played the other night. Maybe you get a step-up effort, and actually historically they've done well here in Washington. San Jose Sharks entering this game 10-1 in their last 11 trips here to Washington, so this has been a very good building for them in years past. Maybe that's what they need to shake the snide, get back on track and snap their 3-game losing streak. I do think San Jose shows up for this game. A marquee opponent, Eastern Conference, team not playing well, looking to start off a road trip here on a good foot, on a good note. So I would think the San Jose Sharks maybe have a chance to get the victory and bounce back in this game at an attractive plus price. LA-Toronto next game, and I'll tell you, the Leafs are finally figuring it out defensively a little bit. We know this team is going to score goals. We know they've got the lineup and the youngsters and the talent there to put the puck in with Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Bozak and Van Riemsdyk, Kadri. I mean, there's guys that can score for this Toronto team. It's all about defensively and their goaltending. How good will it be? Well, it's been a lot better, and it's a big reason why they've won 3 straight games against Edmonton, Buffalo, and Vancouver. They allow 6 goals in those 3 games combined, averaging 2 goals per game allowed during that span. Frederik Andersen has completely turned around his season. Got off to a slow start. Remember, he had no training camp because he was injured, but now he's really bouncing back, playing better in net for this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Now they'll face a Kings team that is actually coming off back-to-back home wins against Pittsburgh and Calgary, and now they're starting an East Coast road trip in this game. Now, usually the first game of a road trip, I've talked about it many, many times, it's a focus spot, it's an intensity spot. I'm not sure I want to go against, though, this Toronto Maple Leafs team right now. I mean, the Toronto has got some confidence. They're getting exceptional goaltending from Frederik Andersen in each of his last several starts, which is a positive sign for this team. And again, they're starting to buy in a little bit, play better defensively. That's a positive sign for this team. Their penalty kill has been very strong. They've now gone 4 straight games without allowing a power play goal. Good news for this Toronto team. We're going to come back to this game for Play of the Day for Tuesday, November the 8th at the end of this video. We're going to look at one more game before the end of this video. Boston-Montreal. We don't have a line yet for this game. The Bruins play a Monday night game at home against Buffalo. That's a big reason why we don't have a line yet for this game. But the Bruins are a team of, once again, so far this season, they've been awful at home. I mean, they've won just 1 home game so far at TD Garden, which is the same problem the Bruins had last year. They weren't good at home. But on the road, they've been a lot better. Boston 5-2 away from home this season. and we'll see how they fare here in this particular game in Montreal. But they'll be up for this game. It's a second of back-to-back. That's always a little bit of a concern. But, Montreal's starting to show some warts here. Really show some warts defensively. They've been sloppy now for about, you could say five games in a row where the Montreal Canadiens have been poor defensively, turning the puck over, giving up too many shots, too many quality chances. In the last 5 games, Montreal's allowed 31, 38, 42, 40, and 38 shots on goal. Way too many. And they lost their first game, of course, that much talked about 10-0 blowout shutout loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets, one of the worst defeats in franchise history. They did bounce back the next night to beat Philly, beat the Flyers at home 5-4, but got massively outshot 38-17. Carey Price, even though he gave up 4 goals, you could argue he still won the game for the Montreal Canadiens. Just way too sloppy. And even though Boston playing on a back-to-back here, I think they could be very, very live in this game. Very live despite the back-to-back situation. Interesting to see what price we get in this game. But Montreal's sloppy play maybe starting to haunt them a little bit. And maybe it gives Bruins a chance to get the victory here on the road. We'll see where that price comes out when the lines get posted for that game. But would lean to the Bruins at whatever plus price you're able to get on Boston for that game. All right, let's wrap it up. Play of the day for Tuesday, November 8th. In the NHL. Let's go back to that Kings-Leafs game. We're going to lay the short price here with Toronto. You can get about -120 at the Greek, -116 at Heritage, -125 at Bookmaker/Chris. So we'll call it -120 here on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's rotation number 12. Toronto -120 against the LA Kings. Toronto's starting to buy in defensively. They've played a lot better defense in their last few games. Frederik Andersen in net has given them a chance. Is having a great stretch of play in net as well. And the Kings aren't exactly road warriors. 1-4 in 5 road games this season. It's not a team I trust, nor is it a goalie I trust, to be honest, in Peter Budaj. Peter Budaj is facing a team that can score some goals, and I'm not convinced he is capable of shutting down good offensive teams, and I would put the Leafs as a good offensive team right now with the amount of young talent and skill they have in their lineup. I think Toronto can keep their run going and notch a home victory. Let's take the Maple Leafs, Toronto -120, play of the day for Tuesday, November 8th in the NHL.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.